let's get to the last bit. So we're going to do, I want to cover the Biden SAVE plan. All right. So, so we're back. So we're going to talk about the SAVE plan. So this is actually really important to know. So the Biden student loan was going to do the debt forgiveness for 10 to 20,000, depending on if you had a grant or not, Pell Grant. That got shut down by the Supreme Court. So that student debt forgiveness is not going to happen, right? Biden immediately after that, within a few hours, announced his new plan. And what he initially did was he forgave $39 billion from this old program where if you did the regular payment or an income-driven repayment and you paid for 20 to 25 years, right? And this was done, I think, under Clinton initially. After that, you could be, as long as you made the payment every month for 20 to 25 years without problems, right? They would just forgive your student loan, whatever was left. Okay. Well, when Betsy DeVos was in office during Trump, they denied all. Yeah.
I was say, gee, what do you think they did?
They denied all those. Yeah. So
denied.
Yep. So Biden just came back in and just authorized all that. So 800,000 people who had already been paying for, 2 decades or more got their student loans finally forgiven. And some of them are going to get some refunds for extra payments. So that was a big deal. He got rid of $39 billion.
I've had some very, very happy clients from that. Some of my coaching clients have been sending me notifications that they finally got a notification that they are among the people who have been approved for the IDR forgiveness.
Right. IDR, yeah. But yes, so that was part of it. Now, the SAVE plan is the second part. So on the SAVE deal, they added an extra 12 months to the moratorium if you can't pay. So if you're 75 days in arrears or something like that, you automatically get put on an income-driven repayment. And the income-driven repayment right now, it's 10% of your discretionary income. So they figure, what is your income? What do we think your discretionary income? 10% of that, right? That's what your payment is. Now, if you're making less than it's going to be soon go to 5%. So if you're making less than 32,000, your payment's going to be zero. If you're making less than 70, it's going to be close to $100 or something. Right. So that's going to go forward. People are going to be automatically enrolled in a lot of that. You should still double check and make sure that you get enrolled in what you want to do. But the income-driven repayment program is a good program to be in. And if you still want to pay off your loans, just pay more than what you owe every month. But that way, if you get into a problem and you can't pay it, you're on an income-driven repayment, so you're not paying as much.
At least your minimum payment is less. I'm a huge fan of making your minimum required payment as low as possible, really for the emergency factor. And then if you have a goal to pay something off faster, obviously
throw more money at it.
Find an online calculator. There's so many that'll do that homework for you and figure out what your payment is going to be that you decide on. But if something goes wrong and you've got suddenly some emergency financially, you can drop it back down.
Right. So that's always a good thing. But here's the other big thing to the IDR payments, right? Because just about everybody's going to be eligible for those going forward. Under the new Biden plan, the SAFE plan, instead of 20 to 25 years, it's 10 years. So if you make 120 payments in a row, you're eligible for forgiveness of your loan.
That is a life-changing difference.
Think about it like this. You're 22, you just got out of college. You get on the IDR, your initial IDR payments, whatever, $50 a month, right? Income-driven repayment program. You pay your $50 a month. You pay it every month. By the time you're, say, 32, now the payment is, I don't know, say it's $400 or $500 a month because you're making over $100,000, right? But once you've made that 120th payment after 10 years, now you're 32, it's 10 years, you can qualify to get the rest of your loan forgiven, so you'd have no more payments. Oh, hang on. So think about that. You could be 32 with no more student loans for a kid getting out today. That's incredible. Now, Republicans are upset about this. Conservatives are upset because basically it's a kind of a way to skirt paying most of your student loans. Because think about it, if your average
Right.
payment for 10 years when you were in your 20s and your early 30s was say $150 a month, that means you paid $1,800 a year for 10 years. So you paid $18,000 on what could be a $70,000 loan or a $100,000 loan, right? But now that you paid it all, you're eligible for forgiveness, and you don't owe those loans anymore. So that's what it is it's sort of a way around it. Like Biden said, it will take longer than what we wanted to initially do, but this is a way to do it, to alleviate that problem.
And it's a way to do it that kind of affects everybody going forward, unless somebody goes and alters it again. People just getting out of school now will be able to benefit from it.
Sure, but if you get on that plan now, it has to be grandfathered in if you change it again.
Right.
Because if once you have the agreement written, it's done and ready to go. So let's look at this real quick because they're going to cover this here on ABC. But this is essentially what he's done.
Now let's talk about student loan debt here this afternoon. President Biden is significantly changing the federal student loan system now. The new income-driven repayment plan is called SAVE. That stands for Saving on a Valuable Education. Under the president's new plan, borrowers would see monthly bills cut in half. There's also a forgiveness component after a decade of payments has been made. Now, depending on how many people enroll, this plan could cost the government up to $361 billion over 10 years. While some parts of SAVE will be implemented this summer, others would take effect in July of next year. In the meantime, here's Kara Sewell this afternoon with more options on taking.
So that is essentially what's going on.
You didn't choose cat.
Sorry about that. So now you have that option to not, or to just pay it for 10 years, right? So that's incredible. It changes the entire game, right? Especially for financial people like us, where we are sitting there talking to our clients. Now it's like, well, wait a second. Why are you overpaying on your student loan when you can just take the IDR plan, pay it for 10 years, and get it forgiven?
Right, especially when it's not like that's the only thing that many of our clients anyway have going on. I have clients with other debts that they can opt to get themselves on this sort of payment plan and then focus their funds on taking care of other debts that don't have this sort of opportunity attached to them. People that want to save for their down payment, people that feel like they maybe got a late start jumping into retirement savings. Maybe they want to funnel a little bit more there and worry a little less about the student loans, because it's not going to be, when you thought you'd have to pay on the thing for 25 years to make it go away.
Right. Or for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Or for the rest of your life, it makes people go, I've got, not that much extra income to deal with, but I better funnel it to my student loans because I don't want to be paying it when I'm 75. But geez, if it's going to go away so much sooner than that, you can breathe a little easier and take the opportunity to, invest in your retirement accounts more even.
Yeah. So here's the question is does this go to a bigger legal battle? It might. I imagine it probably will, but we'll see what happens with all that. But this is going to be tough because he's doing this under the NDEA, the National Defense Education Act, right?
Okay. Before we even play this, I want to say point blank, and I'm sure some of our viewers have this life experience, but for those who don't, there already is a $0 payment in play. He's not doing anything new in creating a $0 payment. That already exists. I had a $0 payment before I started teaching, but I was out of school and working because my income was so low.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a period of time I had a payment for $0. It's not new. He didn't come up with it. All he's doing is taking for everybody, and he's revamping it so everybody can literally have a lower payment than they do currently.
Right.
Some will end up on the $0 payment.
Yeah.
But I just don't want people to all of a sudden attach that to him because he's reducing everyone's payment, but he didn't even come up with the $0 payment thing.
No, this is not an original thing. This is just something that they're expanding. Yeah. But here's the issue, right? All right. So the Biden administration calls it student loan safety net. Okay. Opponents call it a backdoor attempt to make college free. Because essentially what it does is it lowers the cost, right? So starting this summer, millions of Americans with student loans will be able to enroll in a new repayment plan that offers some of the most lenient terms ever. Interest won't pile up as long as borrowers make irregular payments. So that's another thing you have to understand. If I owed $25,000 and my payment's zero, it used to be that $25,000 would accrue interest and grow. That doesn't happen anymore. So that's a huge, huge deal. All right.
That was certainly what was happening to me when I had the $0 payment.
Right.
That 25 became 27, and kept going.
Yeah, no kidding. And then millions of people have monthly payments reduced to zero, and in as little as 10 years, any remaining debt will be canceled. So this is known as the SAVE plan. So this is a new way to basically prevent a lot of student debt from piling up. Okay. So that was kind of what's going on. So let's look at this. Fox News is going to talk a little bit about this. This is not Fox News, it's Fox 26. So this is regular local news. We're going to have them talk a little bit about what's going on.
The Department of Education announced $39 billion in federal student loans that will be forgiven for 800,000 borrowers. And we're also learning more about...
So this is what we mentioned before. So this was the other big forgiveness thing that he just did.
Biden's new SAVE plan. Let's go straight to consumer reporter Heather Sullivan, who's joining us now live with some smart sense to break it all down. Heather.
Yeah, so after the U.S. Supreme Court blocked President Biden's $400 billion student loan forgiveness plan last month, the administration is fixing another broken forgiveness plan and lowering payments through its new SAVE plan. The Education Department says $39 billion in federal student loans will be forgiven. After years of borrowers not getting credit for all their payments toward loan forgiveness, the DOE has been doing a recount. The DOE now says the 804,000 borrowers who have made the required 240 or 300 monthly payments, that's 20 to 25 years, on an income-driven repayment plan or standard repayment plan will be notified that the balance of their loans will be forgiven. And after the U.S. Supreme Court blocked President...
So these are all people that qualified for this and got overlooked. This $39 billion for these 804,000 people. So this
when they were giving them the no stamp.
Yeah. Well, and you also this is under DeVos, under Trump. They used to do the PSLF, which is for people for nonprofits and teachers and things like that. After 10 years, you're supposed to get your loan forgiven. They were denying those left and right. I mean,
yeah, I think during their span of time, it was something like 3% that actually they gave it to. They were denying everybody because, they made an error on a form or something, anything they could not to prove it.
So this is all, I would say, all really great stuff for students, people that owe student loans. Now you have a way out, a 10-year plan. That's a lot better than it used to be, right? But it also deals with some of the cost issue. Now, let's go to a clip of our favorite crew, the Dave Ramsey crew. They're big fans of us. How did they feel about this? Because they just got through with their gloating tour about how student debt forgiveness was shot down by the Supreme Court. So how do they feel about this now? Let's see. The painful truth behind Biden's latest executive order. Guessing they're not happy.
Today, as of hours ago, Biden came through and issued yet another
executive order of some sort.
Yeah.
Ish.
Executive order of sorts, yes, issuing yet more forgiveness for borrowers, which in the past we've been seeing these trickle through, things for disabled folks, vets, people who their school went out of business. And, I'm definitely not mad at that.
She's not mad at that. Okay. Disabled people getting money. She's not mad. She's not happy.
That's getting money. She's not mad.
She's not mad. She's not happy, but she's not mad.
One that came through today, $39 billion of forgiveness for around 804,000 borrowers. And so, of course, everybody's like, Jade, what does this mean? Is this for everybody? Is this for me? What does this mean? And I'm like, well, if you really look at it, this is for folks, John, who signed up for these income-driven repayment plans. You might see it labeled as IDR, and you're like, what the heck is an IDR?
Some of them were income-driven, and some of them were just basic repayment plans. So clearly she didn't read the full article.
Plan, income-driven repayment plans. And these are people, John, who have been paying their student loans for the past 20, 25 years. Because they were told, if you make this payment for 20 years and you make X amount of qualifying payments, at the end of the road, you'll have forgiveness. 25 years, John.
Wow, she's upset now. Now she's mad.
But what's ironic is she's getting upset about the thing that he is intentionally revamping to be better.
He's fixing, yeah.
Like, she's angry about the problem he's actually fixing.
Yeah.
So at some point, are we just going to go through and admit that him fixing it's actually a good thing? I doubt it.
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
No, the yelling thing.
However, if you'd follow through the thought,
Mm-hmm.
the next thought is, gee, it's a good thing he's fixing that.
Right. No, that's not going to be the thought. Now, remember, the yelling thing's an evangelical thing that they do, where they yell to get your attention, to keep you awake in the pews, right? Dave does it all the time. He just starts yelling about something, right? So that's what she's doing.
I don't know about you, but I don't respond all that great when people are yelling at me. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I get irritated, but she's yelling. She's upset now.
Wow.
You'll have forgiveness. And then you get there. You're sweaty. You're tired. Your body's aching. Your back is broken. And there was nothing there.
They say, nah, we changed our mind.
And now finally, these folks are getting their money. So, hey, it's a good day for our parents, right? If they had student loans.
For real.
But here's where I'm at. And here's for me where I think it's just painful. These plans that are for these folks 25 years in are like, finally, I'm getting my money. These are the same plans, John, that they want borrowers today to get into because student loan payments are coming up. You're going to have to start making your payments in October, right? Hey, we don't want you guys to have to pay too much. We don't want you uncomfortable. So why don't you jump into one of these income-driven repayment plans? The new one, I believe, is called the SAVE plan. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. They're always changing the acronyms on this. But the idea is, hey, you can jump on the site. You're automatically enrolled when payments come back. And you can just jump on the site and go ahead and submit your own estimate of your income. And we're not
Okay, that's a lie. You don't get to submit an estimate of your income. You have to submit taxes. I'm sorry. You don't get to submit
With any of the income-based repayment plans, you have to submit either pay stubs or taxes. I cannot imagine this is magically going to be different. Maybe they let you plug in what your income is, but then you've always got to upload your forms that show it.
Right, you got to prove it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm making $0 when I'm making $1 million a year." You can't. Yeah, I mean, she's full of shit on that.
This isn't like the early 2000s where they had those Nina loans, no income, no asset loans.
Ninja loans, yeah. For homes.
It's not like those.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here. You got to prove your income.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Plus, she's trying to imply that it's the same thing. You're going to have to pay for 25 years on these when we now know, no, it's 10 years, which is a huge difference.
And she's their student loan expert, remember?
Is she? I thought it was the other girl.
What other girl?
The other girl, I forget her name. It's not Jade. This was the girl that was wasn't she like a singer on like cruise ships before she did this?
I think she's their student loan expert now that they don't have Anthony O'Neill. I think she's the new one who gets to be the student loan expert.
Or somebody. I don't know. They just throw out titles over there. Queen of shit.
Going to require any qualifying documents to see if it's right.
So people are just going to make up a number.
So now I'm going to yell. I'm going to yell some more. No qualifying documents, which is not true, by the way. Just FYI, that's not true, kids. But we yelled So we know it must be true because I yelled.
I make 30 grand and I can pay $15.
Come on. And
That'll be good.
And just kick that can down the road for 20, 25, 30 years. And at the end, there'll be a little buckle.
Except for, no, you can't do that, and it's only 10 years. I love it. Once again, we might as well title all these the same thing. The Dave Ramsey crew did not read the article. That's the title of basically every one of these.
We can stop brainstorming for titles of at least those portions of clips because all of them could be that.
Yeah. Could be clip number 200. The Dave Ramsey crew did not read the article. Clip 200. Installment 5 million. Oh, God. But she's going to keep yelling. Keep yelling, baby. Yelling about something that's not even happening.
I think she needs a hug. You think she needs a hug?
Or a Xanax.
The gold at that rainbow.
Except
Right, the
that
hug and the Xanax.
in 24 years, we're going to have gone through, 6 presidential transitions?
Come on.
12
it's
Senate
not going to take
transitions.
that long.
Who knows, man? And with the data coming out yesterday, there was folks are beginning to talk more and more about the psychological, the mental health aspect of owing people money.
Yes.
And it is sleep inhibitory. It messes up your sleep, messes up your relationships. It makes you not want to live, makes you not want to be married.
Wow.
It makes all these issues. And so what we're saying is, I want you to be unwell for 20 years. Go to the college of your choice and that you feel most passionate about, and study what you want to study, and just give us a little bit every month. Choose to be miserable.
Yeah.
And not be fully present because you have this hovering over your head, this black cloud, as the article said, hovering over your head. And then in 20, 25 years, if you're lucky, we'll take it from you.
Yeah, I mean, John, you painted a beautiful picture in an early.
But that's not what's happening. So now they're just
Literally, nobody's saying we want you to be unwell for 20 years and then we'll do something. Nobody said that. Just stop.
none of that's going on. Oh man. So yeah, so they once again, they didn't read. They don't know what's going on. They clearly didn't read the article. They don't know what's happening. Man, it's just painful. I mean, because think about it. I mean, if it were 20 years or 25 years, then yeah, that sucks a little bit. Right? That does suck. But think about it like this. If it's 10, 10's not such a hard thing. And if it's 10 and you're making the minimum payment.
If it's 10, you and ours, they would have been gone.
Yeah.
They'd be gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't be paying student loans anymore.
Right.
It'd be over. But yeah, nope. That's the thing. And furthermore, the reduction in the cost based on your income, right? Because before it's like, okay, I got a PhD, but I'm only making $60,000 a year as a professor. You're paying on that till you die. But now it's, oh no, you just pay the income-driven repayment price, right? Whatever that is, $100, $200 a month, right? You pay that for 10 years, and then we'll forgive it. Now this is all very doable all of a sudden.
For everybody.
Right. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it is. Right?
It's an improvement for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You could finish college right now at 22, make the payments for 10 years, the minimum payment, and be eligible for forgiveness. In 10 years, you'd be 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd still have the rest of your life ahead of you. I mean, you wouldn't even have lived half your life yet at that point. You're only 30.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, geez. But, yeah, they always get it mixed up.